Good morning. Welcome to Time in His Word. I had a chance to do a load the other day, and it's multiple stops. There was 4 stops altogether. There's one in Kentucky, 2 in the Nashville area, and then 1 down around Birmingham. They had it figured that I could get 2 of them off on Thursday and the other 2 on Friday. Well, those type of loads I take as a challenge, and I try to get them off as quick as possible, because the quicker you do, the more money you're making on the load. Now, sometimes, just because of logistics and stuff, there's no way you can get them off quicker than they have it planned out, because of when the receiver closes and that kind of stuff beyond your control. But so anyway, Thursday I loaded. Took me longer to tie the load down because I didn't have the right equipment. I'd never done something like that, so I had to use what I had, and it took about an hour or so longer than it should have. But anyway, so I made it to the first stop, and then I called the second stop, and they told me how long they were there. It was only an hour away, so I got there, and the third stop was just 15 minutes away, and I had called them twice already, but they never answered the phone nor returned my calls. So I went ahead and hustled over there, and I got there at 3. Come to find out, they stopped accepting deliveries at 3:30, so I made it by 30 minutes. So I got the third stop off on Thursday when they didn't think I would. And then, of course, Friday morning, I was at the last stop when they opened up. But those loads like that, you have to hustle. And so it's just the non-stop go all day. And but at the end of the day, like I said, I enjoy that because it's a challenge. And a lot of times in our walk in Christ, we're going to run across challenges in one form or another, and how we attack them and go at them depends on our walk in Christ and how much we rely on Him and how much we don't rely on Him. And there's the difference. When we don't rely on Him like we should, we have difficulties in getting the simplest tasks done. And so therefore, by being able to get that last stop off Friday morning, I was able to get loaded Friday afternoon. But the problem would have been, if I'd have missed that, I wouldn't have been able to load till Monday, so I would have had to sit for the weekend. So hustling has its benefits, and then it has its downside, because the heat yesterday was miserable. I got emptied in the morning. It was warm, but not that bad. But yesterday afternoon, it was 95 and the index was 108, so it was just brutal. It just zapped my strength. And that's another thing, doing those loads like that, it wears you out. And so like I said, in our walk in Christ, when we're how much we rely on Him says a lot about how much we have faith and trust in Him. In Psalms, the 18th chapter, the first 3 verses says this: I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, and I am saved from my enemies. A lot of powerful words in that passage there, describing God, that He's my rock, whom I take refuge in. But when you think about it, it has a lot to say, and it describes us in our walk in Christ. In that, are we strong and dependent on Him for everything? Or do we only go to Him when things are bad, when we're in a crisis, and then all of a sudden now we remember, oh yeah, I'm a child of God. It doesn't work like that. It's either one for all or all for one, how that saying goes. So you either trust and follow Him daily as best you can, or not at all. It's just that simple. Now, if you're a child of God's and you've strayed away He's always willing to take you back with no strings attached to that. But the point is that we should never fall away, because just like this passage describes, I love you, Lord. I love you, O Lord, my strength. And there's strong words in the Bible here that help us daily. There's strength in numbers. Anytime they have a men's Saturday, it's not meeting once a month, and it just started. I was going to go this month, but I had something come up that'll keep me from doing it. But eventually I'm going to get there, and I found out it's a group of about 30 men from different churches, and I'm looking forward to attending one of those, because it'll be a positive reinforcement. There'll be a lot of good discussion, be a good Bible study, be a good study all in general, meet some new Christian men, and it'll give me more strength in my walk in Christ, because the more people you know, Christian people, Christian men, Christian women, the stronger you are in your walk in Christ. Because if you're having a bad day, there's always somebody you can call and have prayer with, or just the mere fact of talking with them strengthens your walk for whatever your problems you're having for that day. So just like the heat yesterday zapped my strength, it's the same way when we don't rely on God. We fall away, and we're easily beaten down by the ways of the world. But if we rely totally, and as best we can rely on the Lord, we'll always have strength to overcome what's trying to keep us down. And what's trying to keep us down is Satan. Satan doesn't want us to worship God. Satan uses everything he can to get us to turn from God. And that's where the numbers and strength comes from. That's where the daily reading in the Bible, we get our strength in order to defeat Satan. So just think about that verse this morning. Psalms 18, first 3 verses. I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, and I am saved from my enemies. As you go forward today, take that verse and just really chew on it, and see how much you can put it into your life and live it each and every day.